Hey man, say man, we back with another one, and I had to do it because we talking about Devin Haney and Brian Norman. Yeah, we're a couple weeks out, and issues about to get real. And I hear y'all talking about Devin Haney got this newfound power, and Devin Haney gonna stop Brian Norman. That y'all say that Greg Hackett even said it, right? Well, we gonna talk about that in this video, but before we do, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook. We got to cook on this. Devin Haney, Brian Norman, right? Y'all been hearing it. Everybody that heard what I heard, right? The talk is Devin Haney is gonna stop Brian Norman. I've been hearing it. I keep hearing it. Devin got this newfound power. Y'all telling me, man, y'all ain't seen what I seen from Devin in sparring, and this ain't no diss to Devin because, you know, hey man, I respect Devin. Like, if you a real fight fan, you can't have no bad ish to say about Devin when it comes to inside of the ring, because he take on all comers and, you know, moving straight up to 147, fighting Brian Norman. It ain't too many fighters out there that's gonna take on that type of smoke right off the bat. But Devin said Brian Norman is a bomb, and we're gonna get into all of that. But I keep hearing y'all say that, man, Devin gonna stop Brian Norman. Look at his muscles. Look how big he is now. Look how good he looking at 147. Look how he hitting the tire with the hammer. Look what he doing. He's stopping cats and sparring, man. Y'all don't know, man. Devin got this new power at 147. Devin should have been at 147. He big, man. Moving up to 147 gonna make Devin hit like Mike Tyson. Man, come on, man. Y'all been telling me that Greg Hackett said that he got Devin Haney stopping Brian Norman. Now, shout out to Greg Hackett. You know what I'm saying? But Greg Hackett, he gonna lead y'all into a dead end, man. Greg Hackett gonna lead y'all right into a dead end, because Greg Hackett, he know how to get people to talk. Do I really believe that Greg Hackett really believe that Devin Haney finna go out there and stop Brian Norman when Devin ain't stopped nobody in 10 years? Do I really believe that Greg Hackett believe that? No. But Greg Hackett know how to get the people talking. Now, if Greg Hackett really do believe that, well, you know, hey, that's his opinion. But hey, if y'all running around talking about some Devin Haney is gonna stop Brian Norman Jr., I believe it when you put your money on the line. Put that money where your mouth is. If you just talking, I don't believe it. Show me a bet slip where you put some real money on Devin Haney stopping Brian Norman, and then we could talk. Then I'ma believe you. Other than that, y'all just talking. You know, but as far as the fight go, if anybody getting stopped, y'all know who it is. It ain't gonna be Brian Norman getting stopped. Y'all know who it is. If anybody getting stopped, it ain't gonna be Brian Norman. And I'm gonna run that back one more time for the ones in the back that didn't hear me. If anybody gets stopped, it's finna be Devin Haney that get his ass stopped. But like I said, hell of a fight. You know, hell of a fight. I can't wait to the fight. But let's talk about the fight. Well, let's talk about some of the things that Brian Norman and Devin Haney had to say. Because I seen it was kind of respect in the beginning. But as soon as when they had the little sit down, for y'all didn't see the sit down when they was face to face, that's what I'm talking about. I noticed that Brian Norman was player like. He was cool, calm, and collected with his shit. And he got under Devin's skin when Devin was the one that was kind of running his mouth, talking big. But Brian Norman was calm about it. Like, hey, you know, we going to stay player like, you know. We going to get it on in the ring. You know, we going to conduct ourselves as gentlemen. And that's how we going to do. And he got up under Devin's skin when he told Devin, stop trying to be like Floyd Mayweather. Like, you regurgitating the same shit that Floyd Mayweather been saying. Everything you saying out your mouth is what Floyd Mayweather been saying, right? And we all know ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, Devin came up under Floyd. Ain't nothing wrong with a young man like Devin wanting to emulate Floyd or be like Floyd. That's cool, you know. He's still young. He came up under Floyd, so ain't nothing wrong with that. But hey, that shit got up under Devin's skin because it was the truth. It was the truth. When he told him that he trying to be like Floyd, you know, everything he do, he trying to be. Man, come on now. Whether you're a Devin Haney fan or a hater or whatever it may be, you gotta admit that. You know, everything he do, he try to do like Floyd. And a lot of these fighters have tried to do or emulate everything that Floyd do. But the good thing about Devin, he been successful, right? He has been successful at doing it. But the thing is, that shit got under his skin. And then all of a sudden, he went back to the same shit he did with Ryan Garcia, is he started calling Brian Norman the bum. They said, do you really believe Brian Norman is a bum? He said, yeah, he's a bum. Now, we seen what happened last time when Devin started calling his opponent a bum. See, when you call your opponent a bum, you got to stand on that. And if you in there fighting a bum, you got to show out. You got to be able to beat that bomb on the outside, mid-range, in the pocket, whatever it is. You got to be better than that bomb that you in the ring facing, because now you done called them a bomb. You did the same thing to Ryan Garcia, and although Ryan was on PEDs, but we know how that turned out for you. So Devin is going down the wrong path once again, disrespecting his opponent, calling his opponent a bum. He got that shit bad. That disrespectful stuff that Devin be doing, man, he need to watch his mouth, because it look like every time he get to calling his opponent a bomb like that, well, we see the results the other time he did it, like I told y'all. Now, man, he got a lot to back up, and then his fans, his diehard fans, right? I'm a fan of Devin Haney and what he do in the ring, and because he is willing to fight the best, right? I'm a fan of any fighter that's willing to fight the best, win, lose, or draw. But now that he's called Brian Norman all these bombs and talking about how trash he really is, and he really believe that, right? He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. Because if he go in there trying to fight Brian Norman like he did against Jose Ramirez, people gonna be looking at that shit like, you called him a bomb, why you running from a bomb, right? If he go in there and he struggle and he don't dominate, why are you struggling against a bomb? Why you ain't dominating? But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I got Brian Norman doing something bad to Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I got Brian Norman doing something bad to Devin Haney, because Devin's not going to be able to go into this fight with Brian Norman and fight like he did against Jose Ramirez. And if he do go in the ring against Brian Norman and try to fight like he did against Jose Ramirez, it ain't going to work. Brian Norman Jr. is no Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez is slow. He got slow feet. He's not athletic. He's nowhere near what a Brian Norman Jr. is. Brian Norman has feet. He's quick. He's athletic. He's strong. Devin Haney ain't going to be able to throw a combination and then grab you or hold you. He's not going to be able to get a lot of that shit off with Brian that he think he's going to be able, or maybe, I don't know what he thinking, right? But what y'all think he's going to be able to do, right? At some point, the fight is going to slow down, and it's going to have to become a dog fight, and we know what type of fight that favors. Even Brian Norman boxing, I'm not going to say that he's a better boxer than Devin Haney, right? But timing, closing the distance, and all of that, that matters. Devin is not at 135 and 140 no more, when he was a lot longer and a lot bigger, than a lot of those other fighters, right? Yeah, he is naturally bigger than Brian Norman, but he ain't got the reach advantage like that over Brian Norman. He ain't towering over Brian Norman, and so it's a much different fight. Now, do I think it's going to be a competitive fight? Yeah, but I just got Brian Norman, man. I got Brian Norman putting that boy to sleep, and hey, that's just my opinion. But I respect Devin for taking the fight. But you got to respect your opponent, and you can't be calling your opponent no bum like that, because once you do that, now you really got to prove that you way levels and levels above that bomb like you said you was. And you put yourself in a position to where, hey, your back is up against the wall, and now everybody looking at you. You put yourself in that position before. It looked like you ain't learned from the last time. Yeah, Ryan was on PEDs, and I don't F with him, right? But it wasn't all about Ryan being on PEDs. Devin know that in the back of his head, and anybody with common sense know it wasn't all about Ryan being on PEDs. Straight up and down. But hey, and I'm not saying it didn't have a factor. It didn't play a big factor in the fight. I'm saying it wasn't all about that. So don't try to twist my words. But yeah, man, Brian Norman, Devin Haney, hey, you call that man the bomb, you gonna have to stand on that shit. Real talk. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
Leaning to the right with the bass up loud. I slide, glide, choking on that leader.
2 miles per hour, so everybody sees you.
Ride, got the top let down. Leaning to the right with the bass.